All right. Hey, welcome and good evening. I'm so glad that you're here. If yeah, I mean, we're doing the thing, We're here. This is a pre-market Sunday sort of recap. I want well not recap, an outlook to see kind of what the market's going to look like. We're just going to jump in and yeah, basically what we want to sort of see is what could this market do? Where does it want to go? Um and and go from there, right? So it is 6 futures just opened at 6 p.m. So 3 minutes ago. And let's dive in. First of all, I am going to be looking at the Nasdaq market. I'm going to be looking at the the S&P 500 futures, and the Dow. I have it up here. It's just as reference. I don't really sort of trade it, but it is good to have because I am trading SMTs and some, like, just a hybrid of a bunch of little things that I put together. And yeah, we'll go from there. And I'll talk about if you are a support resistance trader, we'll talk about that. If you are a fair value gap trader, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about SMTs and any ICT concept stuff that we could look at. I'll mention that in here as well. But first of all, let's go into let's back up a little bit. Let's start at 6 months. And I know 6 months is a long way out, but let's kind of start there because there was something interesting that I saw. I was looking at this market earlier and I was like, all right, let's look at this a little bit different. And this is the 6 month. So in the 6 month, right, we had these two years of just uptrend. Then the last year, this was 22 of a full down market, and now we have the same thing. So we're coming up on the 2 years, and then in 2 days this candle will close, right? A day and 23 hours. So in 2 days this candle will close, marking the end of the 2 years of just this bull trend. Now we've created this fair value gap here, right? So if you're a fair value gap trader, this is something that you can look at. We have this 6 month fair value gap that we haven't traded into, right? This is also very close to our previous all-time highs and an order block here if you want to take a look at that right there, right? So but I'm looking at this fair value gap thinking, all right, cool, we could come back, tap into this before moving higher. But that is obviously a very, very large sort of long-term view on this market. And this is, like I said, this is a 6 month. Same thing here on your on the ES, right? You have this fair value gap coming up here onto this previous all-time high back in July, right? January, July. We have this here, fair value gap. So we can expect this to tap into before continuing higher. Doesn't have to, but on a larger sort of time frame, we can look at that and say, all right, cool. Like on a larger time frame, we are right now it's bullish, but if this closes, we begin to move lower. This could be our target, right? Our next target, if we are bullish, is obviously our previous all-time high. We're not there yet. So 6 months, looking at the 3 month, there's nothing at the 3 month that I would be like extremely just like targeting right now. Again, you have on the ES, you do have this fair value gap here, previous all-time high. Could find support to move up higher. If you are a level trader, this is also a good level to kind of look at, right? But again, this is the 3 month. Let's look at our monthly chart. Now, this is where we can start to kind of get a little bit deeper into, intraday trading, swing holding, and stuff like that. We already know that this is an area that price rejected, right? Like all of this price rejected previous all-time high, and you can see prices rejecting that. We come up here. Where is my marker? We came up here, right? Tested that, came back down, rejected. Let me see if I can get a different color on this marker real quick. Give me a different. Yeah, we can do that. Much better. I like this. All right, so we have this area here, right? And we came came back down, rejected this, came back up, tapped into this, and rejected. So this is where we're at now. And you can see that this is an area that held and has been holding pretty well, and it's been respected. I would almost put it right around here, to the upside for a bullish trend, right? Same thing here. We have ES. Let's look at it here. ES. This is our previous all-time high back in January 2022. We came up, broke above it, tested, came up, retested, and continued higher, making all-time highs. And so right now, like I said, the overall trend is bullish. We are still bullish. There's no sign of a reversal yet, but I think we are pretty overextended to the point where we could continue, or we could see a downtrend coming up in the next few months. Depending on when that's going to happen, it could happen next week. It can happen in a month or two. I'm not sure. So our goal is to sort of just catch and see kind of these movements, see where it's going, and just jump on board, right? We're not trying to catch the top or the bottom. We just want to get a piece of the pie, and that's what we're doing. So again, we're making all-time highs. We continue to make all-time highs. Where's my marker? All-time highs. Oh, come on. Let me try something different, you guys. Let's do, yeah, we'll do 20. We'll do 20. Because then I can just kind of do little dots. So we had all-time high, right? And then, we created a new all-time high and a new all-time high there. So these are all-time highs there. You can see that right here, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. And we just keep making all-time highs, riding this trend. If you're aligned, if you're a trend trader, here is your trend. Riding this trend to the upside. We could see some downside intraday, right, before continuing higher. If we do break this trend line, then maybe it is a sign for some potential downside. But for now, we are still bullish on the overall market. This is on the weekly chart. Now, on the weekly chart, if you are an ICT trader and you're trading fair value gaps, you saw that we tapped into this fair value gap. Huge rejection, right? Huge rejection right here on this fair value gap. You can see that on ES here. There is no fair value gap on ES here right now, but on NQ you have this huge rejection to the upside. Then we also have a rejection candle to the downside. So it's kind of in the middle. It's undecisive of what it wants to do, but it is there nonetheless. On YM is sort of another beast that I don't really look for a lot of things. The only thing I look at YM is for just analysis. YM did reject this for value gap though, so they're all kind of on the same direction of the rejection at this point. Let's see. So anyways, yeah, for value gap rejection, what else? We also have, there is no real target right now that I'm looking at for NQ, right? There's no target to the downside right now, unless we're looking at that 6 month, but that's about it. There, every other gap has been tapped into, has been filled. Like this gap has been tapped into to the upside, right? And we could expect a double tap, or we could expect something like this inversion to get tapped into before continuing higher, right? This was a level that we struggled to get past through, right? Do you remember this fair value gap? This is on a weekly. Yeah, we struggled to get past. We kind of ranged around here, all of that, before moving high and then retesting some of this area. So I am expecting, if we do want to go down, if we do want to continue down, then I am expecting for this inversion to get retested right before moving higher. So we could see something like this, maybe a wick, right? Retest, continue higher. But until we get that, again, we're just watching price, right? We're watching price deliver, and sort of this is on a weekly time frame. Coming down to the daily is also, I mean, this thing has just been ripping. This thing has been ripping, right? If you have been watching this Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, if you've been watching this, sorry. On the daily chart, we had FOMC brought us all the way down, tapped into this fair value gap, right? This fair value gap also held, which was this was our previous support for previous from a previous level, right? A previous important level. So this is our previous high, right? You can see how we held, we moved above, held above, broke below, right? Couldn't get past, finally broke above, and now it's holding again. So this is an area, if you're a support resistance, this is a sort of support level that we could be looking to get tapped into, right here. We could look to get tapped into right here before continuing higher, but you can't expect price to just come all the way down here. We have to wait and see, right? Confirmation and stuff like that. So, but I would love to for this to get retested. I would love for this to come back in here, maybe range a little and then bounce to either the upside or break through before a second retest to continue this downtrend. Right, so that's sort of my outlook for I'm waiting for this area to get hit. Right now we don't have anything to the upside. We just covered, if you're an ICT trader, we just covered the majority of this gap, right? Moved above consequent encroachment into an area of support here, or sorry, of resistance right around here to continue lower. And our target, if we want to go, remember, if you're ICT, it's external to internal and then back to external. And our external right now, we have two, one being right here, second one being second one being right here. And this is for intraday, right? So this is our daily sort of targets, if we want, depending on where we want to move, right? And that's what I'm looking at. What else? What else? What is happening? Oh, right. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out what's going on here. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah? Odd. Okay. All right. Anyways, so that's what I'm looking at here. This is our range, right? We've been sort of ranging. We're inside of this daily candle. So we went internal, right? Now we're looking for maybe external, right? And that could be this external right down here, or it could be this external up here. Right now, this is a pretty bearish movement. So maybe we try to come for this, find support here, and then actually come and take this. So we'll see. Like I said, right now, price is sort of in the middle, right? And if we look at this here, this is another area that we found some support. Can we turn this into some sort of resistance to continue lower, or do we move above it, right? And then take out some of this liquidity up here. Now I did see an SMT, right? So all of this was SMT when it came down to price, right? So we saw Nasdaq moving higher while ES was moving lower, and YM was moving lower. So this was a pretty sort of this was over a few days, right? A few days of just price action not moving in the same direction, giving us an SMT that ultimately brought us lower. And that's where we're at. So let's go to the 4-hour. And 4-hour, you have this, right? Here's you're a trend trader, line trend, whatever. You have this. All right, we moved underneath this trend. All right, found support, or resistance, moved above, found support, couldn't make new highs, broke below. Now do we want to move, continue higher here, retest this before moving lower, or is this sort of our leg that'll push us to the downside? Because remember, we have this sort of area of support and resistance, which has been key, right? This is a key area that we saw price jump above support, and then rally up before breaking underneath resistance, breaking above. Now what do we want to find here? Is it support? Do we want to find resistance? And we just got to keep our eyes out for this to see what price wants to do. Here's the 1-hour. And now we're moving closer here into what price did over the last few days, right? So on Monday, I think this was Monday. All of this was sort of price just moving without reason, and I didn't trust any of this. There was no real news here to move price, and all of a sudden just falls underneath, falls on its face, and that's about it. So where do I think price is gonna go? I'm pretty bearish. Actually, no, I'm neutral. I'm neutral until we take this point here. This was my target for this down, this rally to the downside. My target was right here. We didn't get that, and I'd love to see an SMT with this, right, moving to the downside. If we're able to get an SMT down here, then I would be very bullish, as long as these other assets don't take that low point, right? As long as we can continue to move to the upside. That is if we just get an SMT with a closure on maybe like a 2-hour or a 4-hour, then I would be bullish. But for now, I'm still bearish. Maybe like intraday bullish until we get to, maybe back up here to take some liquidity, and then the real move happens, right? So, but until then, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I'll just be watching price to see kind of what we do, where we might want to, what our target is really. So that's about it. Nothing crazy. Bitcoin, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been falling. I do have a paper trade on. I just wanted to kind of see if my analysis was right, and so far it's been going good. So we'll see if this trade turns out. At this point, yeah, I would probably put my stop at break even, and then let this ride for till target, right? I still think Bitcoin is going to fall to 80 something thousand. I don't think Bitcoin's going to move up from here until we get there. So Bitcoin does have some downside for now. Anyways, I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys. We are hitting this daily SMA, this 20 SMA on ES. NQ is moving higher. We are creating SMTs. YM is moving lower, so we have an SMT here. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what we do here. But until then, thanks for hopping on for a couple minutes. Just wanted to do this video start. This is my market prep. I've already did my market prep, meaning I marked out my certain levels that I'm looking at, but I have this one here. this chart is typically is always clean. So I'm always, this one's always clean. So I can refer to price action, like raw price action, if I ever want to, by just looking at this. I never want to have this, filled. Thank you. Filled with stuff. If I do just want to look at price the way that it is, I'll do it here, and then I'll do all of my other stuff right over here. So anyways, thanks for hanging, and I'll catch you in the next one. I think this is